Welcome to Journey Through the Gate, your paranormal portal podcast, as we delve into the many questions and wonders brought on by the supernatural experience. What's on the other side of the gate? Let's find out together. Hello, gatekeepers. It is an absolute pleasure to be here this evening, and I got to tell you how important this is to me. Is you won't believe what I just left to be here. And I'm so glad I'm here and not there. You know, God bless everybody that's working tonight. God bless everybody that forgot that tomorrow's Valentine's Day. I hope you don't get stuck in too big of a sticky wicket. Hello, everybody. It's so good to see y'all. I'm telling you, this is the way it is. You know, this is where I want to spend my Valentine Eve, right here amongst this light. Now, before I go jammering on, so far I'm pushing most of the right buttons. So fingers crossed, because we have kind of a impromptu big night for you. Now, you cannot tell nobody can say that we don't deliver here on Journey Through the Gate. Tonight we have amongst us what we just celebrated. And for those of you that missed it last night, I hope you got to see it tonight. For those of you that sat through it twice, God bless you. You know I love you. And Ted and Vixen and a couple of the other ones, and everybody that sat through it again. And I hope you enjoyed it, because here's the deal. In order to keep the lights on, there's one thing I've learned through this journey so far. Choo-choo, Ted. Choo-choo. That meditation, finding a way to use your energy to control your energy, whether it be, like we said many times, you know, dancing barefoot in the kitchen or gardening or whatever it may be, whatever keeps you creative and your imagination and pushes you and propels you forward to go after your dreams, or even if it's just creating something. Sorry, I didn't mean to hit the mic. I apologize. Even if it's creating something, whether you're making jewelry or whatever, it's important. And tonight I found two artists, a composer, Jammy Jams. And tell me I've been muted all this time. I'm going to lose it. Can you guys hear me? 5-5? Oh, the funny honey, Glenn. Don't think I don't have it. Don't make me pull out the funny honey. Okay. So you 5-5, am I cool? I can continue and get this forward and get this. Let's kick this mule. So anyway, it's very important to understand that art keeps you connected to your source. And I guarantee you, all my guests tonight, and I say all because there is more than one, they're going to be popping in and out. Fingers crossed, everything works great. Thank you, Ted. So, art, creativity, imagination, dreaming, imagining, all of this keeps you connected to source. Don't let anybody tell you different. If you want proof of that, I suggest you look around you and see what happens when people stop being creative and losing the ability to connect to those things. So it's so important. So these little videos that I put together, as you just saw, is also connected with many, many gifts. And I've said this before. Please excuse me. And the GIF artist tonight is George Redhawk. George Redhawk is legally blind. What you just watched, this man had what most would say a complete block from being able to envision art. He found a way. Sometimes it's a struggle to keep the light on. But you got to do it. Nobody's going to do it for you. We can help each other. But I think taking a combination of those two arts and putting them together, and then sitting there for me is like a meditation. And I hope some of you go back and look at that and just envision for yourself and see if it's not true. So I think that's an important thing about trying to keep your light burning and all the stuff that's going on. So I just wanted to underline that. And happy Thanksgiving. There we go. Happy Valentine's Day. I wish you love, whether you celebrate it or not. I still wish you love. So let's get this old rattlesnake in here. Steven, did you see it?
I like turtles.
I love turtles too, Steve.
Happy Easter Bunny.
Happy. It's going to be such a good time.
It's going to be a good time. I am
All
the chief troublemaker in charge here. You've been in the funny, honey. We're going to have a good time.
If you don't know Dusty Slay, I highly recommend when you're done with me,
we're having a good time.
Stay here because you don't going to miss this show. Get on YouTube and binge watch Dusty Slay, and you'll be having a good time.
I
promise you. He's
funny
clean and funny. Oh my gosh, when he does 5 o'clock somewhere, and you go, yeah, I'm gonna do the whole song, and he does, and you just want more. It's so good.
Well,
so welcome, my love.
You can use that for showing up late too. You get to work late, tell your boss, well, it's 9 o'clock somewhere.
Yeah. In fact, in that mentality, we're just gonna go ahead and say it's 5 o'clock somewhere. Let's get out of here. What the hell are we doing here?
Hey,
I'm so glad to be here, Steve. I'm so glad. Let's say hi to some of these people. You go. You start.
Aunt Edna's here. Renee Sulin.
Ted,
Ian,
my love.
myself.
I love you, sweetie. Fixing dough.
If you saw that video that just premiered a few minutes ago over on Missing Persons and Mysteries,
what's
Unexplained
that?
Phenomena on the Appalachian
You got a link
Trail.
for that, Steve? I don't recall that one.
That was written by Mr. The Radio Vault there, a.k.a. AJK.
Oh, did he? Oh,
so
fantastic. That's it.
Another one that he wrote that I'm going to
get out there, be creative. This is what I'm saying.
And
it's like meditation. Is it not, AJK? I mean, everybody in here that's creative, you throw up a 10 if doing what you love helps you connect back to source and kind of revamp that light, right? You know, it's true. Did you catch the video, Steve? This is George Redhawk. Is legally blind.
Just now, yeah, I saw that. That's amazing.
Through a special software. He's got a great story. I had the link here somewhere. I shared it last night. I'll get it before the night's over, but to his Twitter, and I put all his links up there too in the video. So go back there, and it'll be in the description. But so celebrating artists, I've been doing that a while because that helps me stay creative too in the time span I have right now. And I found him, and it's amazing. And we've all seen the gifts on our social media or whatever. Some of those seemed familiar, at least the style did, right? It has over the past month I've been doing this, you recognize, like Steve loves the one that it's called the Death Fairy. and that is the one that goes around. It's like the skeleton
Like a
that's got the
skeleton
wand,
with wings, and
and
it's
it
running around with
bops you on the head like little baby boo boo, and knocks you on the head. You turn into a skeleton, you die. Well, we've all seen the gifts. So a couple weeks ago, I think I did that one. But tonight is George Red Hawk. We thank the artists. God bless the artists, the dreamers, and those who imagine. Those who imagine.
Hey,
Is this your
Salvador
link?
Soto, my brother.
Thank you,
how
baby.
you doing? Yeah, that's the video that was written by
We got to
Radio
get
Vault,
Lynn in here.
aka
Hey, Salvador.
AJK. It's all
Hey,
right.
Edna.
It's in the back studio. It's showing like over 3,000, almost
I love y'all.
4,000 views already since it's taken off.
Fantastic. I'm going to go back and
that.
listen to it. So listen to that first, then go listen to Dusty Slay, then go look up George Red Hawk and Jammy Jams from YouTube Audio Library. 2 good artists coming together. Actually, 3. I'll go ahead and say I had a good time. That's a little bit of art to be able to take a couple of songs and use the visuals to try to take you guys on a journey.
That is sheer
That's
artistry,
like an art. There you go.
And I know you put a lot of time into that.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Hey, Blue, welcome in, welcome in. So, hey, Renice, hey, I could do this all night long. Let's get Lynn in here. Now, listen, Lynn on this show doesn't need an introduction, but she certainly deserves one. So here, I'm going to take a shot at it. Funny,
thank you, Aunt Edna, for the super sticker there. Cisco
author, medium. That. Oh, Aunt Edna, thank you so much. Oh, darling, God love you, baby. Happy Valentine's Day. I love you, sweetheart. And the love great. It's just, around the world, Steve. It blows your mind. We could reach out there and touch people all over the place, and it's amazing.
On the big channel,
send it out.
Got listeners from the UK, Australia, New Zealand,
us here too,
Brazil,
South Africa. We got to get Lynn. We keep getting off track. Let me get her in here so she can get her footing. So again, she a medium, author of Omnipresent and Colors of Heaven, multiple decades. She'll smack me for saying it. In with End of Death Care, and with all these abilities and everything else, and buying a house, Steve, so haunted she couldn't live in it. So what more do you want? This tonight's going to be packed. Let's get her in here, Miss the beautiful and wonderful and what a great soul, Lynn Monet.
Hi, everybody. Hello. Let me turn my camera here so it looks like I'm looking at.
I'm so sorry to grab her on. I'm gonna shut up. You all talk.
No. I'm trying to fix this so it doesn't look like I'm looking off to the opposite side of the room.
Cleanest kitchen in America, ladies and gentlemen. I promise you. If you would want to see my kitchen right now,
we order pizza a lot. So anyway, and I loved Steve's happy Easter Bunny Day, because what that means is that there's going to be a rabbit leaving turds all over my yard, and I hope that some of them are filled with money this time.
And Cisco was wishing us happy Thanksgiving. I thought I'd just add some more.
Cisco left the building before we ever started.
I'm looking off this way. I'm going to flip myself and see if it's better.
You're fine, sweetheart. You're fine. So anyway, I guess I should
lined
stay.
Up like I like it. I like the camera right here.
So we like the backsplash as well. Blue likes your black.
I've got 3 monitors here, so I'm liable to look any direction.
Okay,
Lynn,
that's better.
Doing?
Yes, I'm doing okay. I was thrilled when you reached out.
Oh yeah.
Lynn, side note, Lynn, did my booker for 13 Past Midnight get a hold of you yet?
No.
Okay, she's going to. I'll see what's going on with that.
I'm feeling sad. No,
Steve's got a bookie.
I figured.
Yeah, my bookie's going to get in touch with you. I owe some people some money. No, I'm kidding.
Booker, not bookie. Crazy. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, that's too much.
Right, Cisco. Whatever you did there.
Let me see if
I wanted to let you
have a Cisco setting.
Go ahead.
No, baby, you do it. You say. You talk.
I was going to say, also, I was going to offer tonight that anybody that puts in a pledge of $5 or more to Miss Cisco, you can get a free ebook from my collection, Choices of Omnipresent.
The first one.
Omnipresent, What Happened Next? Colors of Heaven, Beginnings Never End.
Oh, how kind of you.
The Gap is now coming out, or if you want to wait, the third one in the sequel of Omnipresent, 111 Becadon Drive is also going to be coming out here in a couple of months. But it's only if you're in this chat room. And Steve, I'm going to do the same thing for your show. So, definitely.
How cool is that? I am too.
You've shamed me, so I'll add an book copies of my books to that pledge too. If you donate to Cisco in this show tonight while we're live,
$5 or over, you get a free ebook of your choice. Now, Cisco has a list of the people that are all in the room tonight.
I do indeed. I have a list.
You will reach out to her. If that's okay, Cisco, then you can let me know who I need to send the books to and what choice they take. So
wow. Everybody's loving it.
So
everybody's loving it. And
show me the money.
Show somebody. Oh, far out, guys. This is awesome. And that's what a great way to spread the love too. Also, and honor. Here we go.
There
right
we go.
there.
Ted Branson.
Look at that, Ted.
Kabam! There's one. There you go, Ted.
He's always got the hot cupcakes, don't you, sweetheart? He's wonderful. We love you so much, Ted. Thank you, honey. Thank you.
He is a sexy beast. He drives the ladies wild.
Have
you ever heard him do his James Bond impression? It is spot on. He's from Scotland, so it's like.
Wow.
You got to come on my show and do that for me, honey. We'll talk. Let's talk. We'll get you
some
dough. Here we go again.
Yeah. He's definitely a sexy beast. He likes to go swinging, even on in here.
Before you made the announcement, Aunt Edna had already donated, so we'll grandfather or grandmother her into that, if that's okay.
Grandmother,
yeah.
Do you want to tell?
That's fine.
This is wonderful, guys, and I'm going to do my best to stay on the track. But Hot Mess Express. Go ahead, sweetheart.
Wherever this is a book of your choice, but if you want to have it be given to someone else, that's perfectly fine, and it's still free to be given to someone else.
Like
if you've already gotten my books and you want to have one go to someone else, that the shipping's getting really expensive these days, so the ebooks are nice, and the way that it's set up is it scrolls nice one over the other, so you just kind of scroll it on your phone or your computer or wherever. And these books, Omnipresent, can be found on Amazon, but none of the rest of them can be found on Amazon. They're on my website only. So these are exclusive things, and I will personalize them and sign them for you before I ship them out.
And we, Lynn and Steve are both on a lot of different
with their ebooks.
Yeah, true. A lot of different shows, so make sure you go over there and support those shows. And this chain grows so fast, like a big paranormal snowball, as well as an onion. It's a lot of things, right, Steve? But it's great to be able to share and reach out. We were just talking about how we reach out around the world. Look, we can send out dismal and be full of doom and gloom and fear and whatever heck there's enough of that out there. It's a huge thing that trying to throw light out there into this darkness, but thank God only takes a pinpoint of light. So if you guys continue this on, if you get an ebook and you want to share it to somebody else, if you think somebody can benefit from Lynn's story, Omnipresent is about a house that was so haunted, basically you couldn't move in.
Yeah,
so many things happened, so many different levels of paranormal understanding and experiences in there that you can look into that might expand your knowledge of for sure of the paranormal and what you've already learned, or enhance what a theory you already have, right, Steve?
Or validate, exactly. And also
same with Steve. Go ahead.
In the back of most all of my books, there's a self-help section. So like the first book has how to determine whether you have ghosts in your house or not. Before you move in and sign on the dotted line, it's what you do. The second one helps give you tools to help a ghost move on. I don't recommend doing a demon yourself. You need somebody that knows what they're doing, but you might be able to get a soul to move on that you don't want in there. Colors of Heaven gives some really, really good advice about end of life directives. Tells you, where to get less expensive cremation and things like that. It tells you, don't sign anybody's hospital bill, even unless it's your kid that's under 18, because if that person dies, you get stuck with the bill. So don't sign it. Even if it's your mother, your father, your husband, everybody signs for themselves. And let me tell you, the hospital will come and serve it up to you. And if you open your mouth and you say, oh, I can take it, I'm the power of attorney. No, you are not the power of attorney until the person is unable to speak for themselves. That is nothing but a piece of useless paper until that happens. And then you advocate for them. But even with that, if you go in and somebody's puking in a bucket, grab the bucket, hand them the pen, and hope for the best. Do not sign. They will come in and bring you the papers signed. They don't care who signs them. It could be the garbage man standing next to you. If he's stupid enough to sign, he's going to get stuck with the bill. And they will tell you that you won't, and then you do,
and then you have.
Yeah,
People
and then
lie.
you have no recourse to go back and say, well, the lady told me that it wouldn't affect me. Oh, what lady? You know, she shouldn't have told you that. So trust me.
Oh, yeah. Don't trust nobody.
Yep. I'm not saying not to pay your hospital bills, but I'm saying do not sign for anyone but yourself. Period. Right. Yeah. And I'm telling you, I promise you, this comes from an attorney's office. I'm not giving legal advice, but I'm giving you some good advice because I know how the hospital works. And, you know, I've seen a lot of people pass away.
You ain't got to tell me. I've fought every minute for, you know, my people when they were in there. Ask Steve. Steve knows the stories. Yeah, I moved into that son of a gun. I mean, it's just, it's been like, man, we went through this like a gauntlet. But the same, I wanted to make sure that I remember. Great advice, honey, and thank you for, I'm telling you, you never know what you're going to hear on Journey Through the Gate. You know, you're getting all kinds of good advice here and ways to stay in the, you know, the fight, you know. It's hard out there.
You can do a will yourself, a healthcare power of attorney will. There's a pamphlet that you can print offline called the 5 Wishes pamphlet. And when you fill that out and you have it notarized, it is a legal document that will stand in the court of law. And all you had to do is pay for the notary. You fill it out yourself.
Notary is very strong. You'd be surprised what you can do with just a notary. I can remember, well, it's a long story, but, you know, at I think a Starbucks, I met a notary that stamped my divorce. And I was like, it drank to a coffee and moved on. I mean, it's a long story, and a long time coming, but you know, you'd be surprised what you can just do yourself, you know. Hey, Slow, welcome in. So I wanted to say the same about Steve, you know, his books and everything, you know, all of them, his personal stories, as well as the ones he's helped keep alive, is also, you know, tools. You guys have read, you know, so many here have read them. And the thing is we've got to keep this going. We've said that many times on this show, what we knew in the 50s, the 60s, the 70s proved it. Brought people back that witnessed stuff then, reopened cases, went over them again, tore them inside out, right, Steve? You know, many on Monday night.
And I was on a show in the UK the other day, and I was telling people, go talk to the old people. Here in this country, we treat our old people worse than anywhere else. We just stick them away somewhere, wait for them to die. But that's one of our greatest natural resources as far as things that have happened, stories and things. Go to a retirement center, go to an old folks home. Do what I did one time. I went and put on a presentation one time, and of course they didn't have anything else to do, so I filled the little room there, the little auditorium they had, told all these spooky stories, and then opened it up afterwards like, has anybody else got a story to tell? I had a half a dozen people come up and tell stories that they remembered and things. It was awesome. Reach out to the old people, and the other side of that, the young people. Go to the skate park or the arcade or whatever, if they still even have arcades. I'm a child of the 80s here. But they know all the crybaby bridges, all the haunted houses, all the good parking spots that are also have a spooky story attached to them. So the teens and the elderly, and get those stories before you can't get them anymore.
That is so true. And I love the elderly. I call them people of wisdom. I don't call them, you know, older people. And I've worked in end of life care that long, but that's wonderful, Steve, that you did that. And I want to tell you, your haircut looks great.
Oh, thank you.
Isn't he handsome? It's a handsome old snake. I'll tell you what.
In a difficult stage, but it'll get better.
He's still a cheeky monkey though. Yeah. He was teasing me this week about we were getting into some gematria, him and a couple people, and pulled up Cisco Murdoch came out. What did it come out to, Steve?
Mama Gum talks truth. So you are Mama Gum.
I'm Mama Gum.
That was Catheta Cat Gray, who's in the chat with me. We were putting people's names to the gematria, and we came up with some screamingly good stuff, some funny stuff, and also Catheta and I, she's my East Tennessee homegirl. Nice. We're partners in crime. We're working on a secret project together. You're going to love it when we get ready to.
I can't wait to see it.
Oh, wow.
You love to see it, and I can't wait to see it. That's awesome.
And I'm looking.
Mama Gum talks truth. So Cisco is Mama Gum. That reminds me
I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm too old.
Mother Abigail. Remember Mother Abigail from The Stand? Mayhaps it is. Mayhaps it ain't. That's Cisco.
There's rats in the corn. I'll tell you that. There are rats in the corn.
And if it'll kill the rats in the barn,
I'm telling you right now.
It'll kill Tom too. MOON, that spells poison.
I'm telling you.
I got that whole book.
But I know who won in the end of that one too. And it's funny, but in Cabin 22 is kind of like a little homage to that at the end there, where they kind of all grouped together, the good, and they had a battle, and they won. And it's just we got to stick together. So any of this, like I said, art, support artists, support these authors, and the ones we might have popping in here a little bit later. We might have a couple surprises popping in, but I think we need it at this time. Honestly, need I say? So whatever we can do to make it a little easier on us, let's keep that going. So tonight we got together about voices. Let our voices be heard for sure, but disembodied voices. And something interesting happened last week. Lynn, I sent it to you, Lynn, I think first, and to Mr. and to Greg. And I didn't want to tell anybody what I thought. Y'all saw what I thought, real time. You all saw what Steve thought and saw in real time. But also going back, you hear even more because I don't stop my yammering. And I'm talking and Steve's talking. He's described a thing, and I'm talking to Ted over here like we're just in this big old room, But behind us, you hear it. Now I heard convos. I heard where you couldn't quite tell, like you always hear in the ghost stories. Well, I heard a conversation, but you couldn't quite tell what they make out with the words. Every once in a while, you might be able to make out what you think you heard a word, but it was obviously two different people talking. I think this is so important. And a dog.
And
laughter.
There was a dog barking.
Yes. And to the point, and you'll see this because I got a little clip. Now, I wasn't able to get it all, make it all fancy and stuff like that. You guys are going to have to take it as raw as I got it. That's bumper sticker or something. But anyway, right, Steve?
Put that on a t-shirt.
Yeah, yep. Woo! There we go. That's a t-shirt or mug.
Merchandise.
It's got to be a mug. You put anything on a mug. So.
Hello, Anella.
So I didn't, get timestamp and all that fancy stuff, but I did get a clip. And I sent it to Lynn. I said, please listen to this. And she'll tell you in her words what she thought. But I didn't want to tell anybody ahead of time what I thought, unless you see it, for what you see. But I can't hide that because it happened in real time on video. So, sweetheart, thank you, Renise. So it's a train wreck, and you just got to embrace it and own it. That's the secret. There will be mistakes. There will be talking, So the way I'm reaching out on this is first, I thought I'd pull up a little bit of the definition. What's a disembodied voice? Have you guys ever heard a disembodied voice? Have you ever been in the kitchen and heard somebody call your name? Have you ever been half asleep and hear your name? Or driving in a car and nobody's in the car with you and you hear somebody say hello?
Out deep in the woods and hear your name. Now that's scary.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Yeah. So I thought we'd look at that tonight and look back at last Monday night and get some opinions. Now, the people that are going to pop in, Lynn herself and possibly others, I haven't told them what I thought, but I did express it on the tape, and I thought, is this a ham radio? Are we picking up radio signals? Is it, because gosh, I remember stories back in the day, Steve Ripley's, believe it or not, people getting radios on their fillings. Open about that. That was a real thing.
The first ever guitar radio transmitter I had, where you could play the guitar and send it by a transmitter to the amp. Sometimes like disco music and stuff would be coming out of my amp when I'm trying to play guitar. It was picking up the signal from a radio station and not putting the guitar in it like it was supposed to. So that was in the early days. But yeah, things like that happen. I've heard ham radio come across the TV before when I was watching something.
Mm-hmm. So go ahead, Lynn.
Sorry. And spirits can manipulate the electronics too in order to be able to use them to speak through. They can turn them on and off. They can.
Oh, thank you so much, sweetie. Oh, wow.
It's
some more. Oh, thank you so much,
honey. She probably didn't hear the announcement, but
she didn't.
Anella, you get some free ebooks because of that.
Yes.
Just in case you didn't hear the announcement, you get Lynn, say it again if you don't.
Yeah, the mods would please post it. Steve and I are anybody that makes a donation of $5 or over to during the show tonight to our lovely lady Cisco, we will give free ebooks to those people. Now you'll need to get your email address to Cisco so that she can pick out the book that you want. Steve, are you offering one book, or can they choose from any of them?
They can pick from any of mine. I can't reach them. They're over here on the floor, but I've got 5 to pick from.
Yeah, and I've got 5 to pick from too. So, and one of them will be coming out. So any of those type things. And the Gap, the book that I have, The Gap, that's coming out, it's not paranormal related, but it is teenage related, and it's a good book for your adolescent and teen to be reading. You know, things like don't go out on a date with stinky sneakers, because no matter how good looking you are, if your feet smell and your sneakers are stinky, nobody's going to want to kiss you, and things like that. And what to do if a condom breaks?
You know what? People need to hear that. We need to start leaving better kids for this world, but you know, we gotta keep it from imploding on itself too. So you do that with life, and that's what we're here to talk about tonight. But we're also trying to understand the thing about it is people that are really on the other side and they've been brainwashed with lies and control and things like that. They have a hard time looking at things with an open mind. And I tell them all the time, I stay in the light and I talk about some of the dark stuff sometimes. Yeah, you have to, because it's yin and yang. And if you don't go through the dark, you can't appreciate the light. And you get strengthened when you do it and you survive that. And it's not that you want to do it. It's just life and the universe happens, right? So you have to do that. And by doing this show, we're putting out light, you know, for the people. It's in the universe. If it helps one, if it inspires one, if it, you know, even if it inspires you to do a podcast. Look, Lynn's got one. Tell us about that, Lynn, real quick. Why do this?
Okay. Well, the debut is tomorrow night. Hopefully, if everything goes smoothly. The name of it is Synchronicity, adding pieces to the puzzle. And I'm hosting along with Anne-Marie Young, and we're going to be doing that. And we've tomorrow night we're going to be talking about ourselves and introducing, you know, what we're doing. But after that, we've got some really, really great guests coming up throughout, you know, several months. I'm going to have Cisco on the show. I'm hoping Steve will agree to come on also.
Absolutely.
But we've got Nathaniel Gillis. He's a demonologist. He's also going to be booked. He's booked on this show coming up as well. You know, so Cisco's. We've got Dr. Michael Lynch. And a lot of people that are coming on to talk about near-death experiences, and it's just information that we all need during this time to protect ourselves. So, yeah, absolutely.
And you know, too, I think you know, a lot of people just take it for granted that people know those things, and they don't. You know, I mean, I've mentioned it before on this. I can look back and I can honestly, if I don't even have to close my eyes. I can look back at times in my childhood when I was at the school library or the town library with my library card and the Dewey Decimal System and looking up stuff in those long drawers.
I remember the Dewey Decimal System.
Oh my gosh.
That was actually a good system.
Yeah,
and I can catalog, remember. And then the vertical file. Remember the vertical file where they put all the articles and stuff?
And the librarians.
So I, you know, and I could,
we showed her. Yeah. We showed her, didn't we? Hey, Davy Jones, welcome in, and Blythe too.
How are you, Davy Jones?
Where's the rum? I got the funny, honey. Where's the rum? Ooh, that might be tasty.
I bet that would be good.
Yeah, I can listen. I'm still a damn good bartender. I don't drink as much as I used to. That's a fact. Boy, I can make a country song right there. Oh, again, if you need some last Dusty Slay on YouTube, just binge watch it. I'm telling you, it's worth it, and it's clean. It's clean.
You'll laugh.
And you will laugh because it's real. You know, that's why it's so funny. So again, voices. So I've got a couple of clips here, and you'll probably see them a little bit, you know, throughout the night a couple of times. Some people can't stay all night, they popping in and out. Lynn, if you've got to go, I want to make sure I get your opinion in on this. So you just let me know, because I was last minute on all this stuff, guys. But if you were here last Monday and heard those voices, you know, we're going to play them again. But I also have another clip, and I want you guys to listen to it. Steve, I believe you've heard this one. This is a clip from Gettysburg. It's at the Wyndham Hotel. It's about, I want to say close to 1 a.m. It's somewhere between 12:30 and 1 a.m. And you know, you're up there and it's crazy and it's hustling, bustling, and you're walking through it. I walked down this one hallway, And if you've ever been in a hotel like this, you're down the back hallway where the service people go in to get to the back way of the kitchen where their bathroom is. And it's probably got the entrance to the back way into those big ballrooms that they rent. And then on the other side, they've got like stockroom, extra chairs and tables and things. But you go down this hall, long hall, way away from the entrance. And there's mirrors, and they're great, big, huge mirrors, the size of a wall, these mirrors. And they're set up like a zigzag. So there's one here, one across the hall, but a little off. So it makes almost like a zigzag or like bric-a-brac on a dress, zigzag pattern going down the hall. And when you walk down there, the energy's just bouncing. Like, I don't want to go as far as say portals, but definitely throwing that energy back and forth, and you could feel it, but it was just too much in the day. So we went back at night, and my son and I go down there, and we're just sitting at a quiet table way far away. There is nobody. Everybody's coming off the party. DJ's packed up. People are, if the closest people are 3 or 4 people talking all the way down halfway up the next hall on the other side of the building. And every once in a while you can hear them open a door. That was it. And I sat down with dowsing rods and I started talking, and you can hear me on the tape talking. And I'm asking, is there anybody here that needs to say anything? Cross for yes, or show me yes, or whatever. You know how it starts. I feel something immediately to my right, behind me, an energy. I can't really describe the energy, but it wasn't real positive, but surely wasn't negative. It was just an energy. A change in the atmosphere right behind me, but almost to the point where you could touch it, but you didn't dare move. You just went with it. And I'm asking questions, and I'm like, if you're here, someone's here, yes, it's crossing or does whatever. And I'm like, okay. And sometime during that, my son takes out his phone, decides to hit record. So you pick it up halfway through this. And I ask it something along the lines of, do you feel stuck? If you're stuck here, if you're not, if you're cool chilling, I'll just leave you alone. Do you feel like you need help, or are you stuck? And you can hear 2 distinctive, different voices with an inflection enough to get an attitude. Lynn, I don't think you've ever heard this. You're going to love this. And it's matched the energy that I was feeling beside me, because partially through that, I could feel an extra energy come in that felt similar, but definitely separate. I don't know how else to describe that, but here we go. Let me find it. You've not heard this one, Lynn, have you? Do you know which one I'm talking about, Steve?
I do.
Okay, here we go. Tell me if that's not true. Can you tell us your name? Okay. Thank you. Just speak into the recorder and we'll see if we can get anything back, okay? I would really like to help you. Can you tell me, do you feel stuck here? Yes or no? No. Remember, no is to separate them, and yes is to cross. Maybe not stuck. Maybe let's try a different question. Now, did you guys hear that? No.
It was very, very light coming over here. I couldn't even hear you very well for some reason.
Okay.
It was like I needed to crank up the volume a little bit.
I'll play it one more time for you, but you hear me say something like, I'm actually feeling. This is what's cool about dowsing rods for me, because I'm actually feeling. Let's see what the chat's saying. Did you guys hear it? I don't know if I can make it louder. Let me know. Yeah, it is very subtle. Yep, I heard 2 no's. Yep, absolutely. So that was the thing. So I didn't, of course, now I'm going to say, I did not hear the no's. I felt them. And the rods crossed, or uncrossed, rather, for no. And I said no, and I felt it. You didn't hear it? I'll play it again, Salvador. And it's so cool that after the fact, you go back and listen to the tape, and you hear No, almost like you could hear two young girls looking at each other, kind of like almost there's a pause where they're like questioning and thinking about it. Because it was a direct, intelligent answer to the question I asked. And one says, no, no, like that. And then the second one, a totally different energy, right? Steve, you hear it. I know he does.
Yeah. Yeah. And if I had known better, you would have thought there was other people there with you than what was there. It was that clear.
The sound you hear behind, I have to make clear, the sound, like the crowd behind there, that is 3 people all the way on the other side. It's an amazing amount of echo that comes down that hall. I promise you, we've taken that into consideration. However, these were right behind me. Do you see what I'm saying? I'll play it one more time. I don't think I can turn it up, but I'll try. I hope you can hear it, sweetie.
Okay.
All right. Can you tell us your name? Okay. Thank you. Just speak into the recorder and we'll see if we can get anything back, okay? I would really like to help you. Can you tell me, do you feel stuck here? Yes or no? Remember, no is to separate them. Incredible.
Yeah,
it's like right away, no. And then the other one's kind of thinking about it.
No kids anywhere in the building.
Zero.
Yeah.
That's a
you
kid.
You could hear the people talking at a distance, but those were up close.
Exactly.
The 2 no's, they were up close. So there was a difference in the, yeah, definitely. I heard it that time. Mm-hmm. Now, see, I heard that the first time too, but I didn't think, I was listening for something different. I thought that was somebody actually saying no.
It's so clear.
So, yeah, it is very
right
clear.
Here. This boggle of mine is perfect for this show, Voices, because it's in an amazing amount of information in 1 syllable each, from 2 different spirits, that when I was sitting there talking just briefly before the recording began. There you go, Salvador. See, it's amazing. So he starts it. I had already been chit-chatting with him a hot minute. And like I said, I felt the one energy almost immediately. And I was getting in the beginning, like, are you, with somebody who works here? Are you with somebody for the, for the event? Are you, attached to this land? We broke all that down. And, no. And I got basically that they were visiting, like maybe attached to somebody there and just hanging out and having a good time. They were chill. They were totally chill. And that the only voice we got was what you heard, but it was enough inflection and attitude and energy in each note that you could almost tell a little bit about the personalities. I would say young, female, both of them.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
Took time to think about it.
And it was almost like they were looking at each other to see.
Yes,
said
I was just going to say that.
If they're in agreement, no.
Yep, that's exactly
right. And one's like shrugging their shoulders. No, the one's looking at the other.
That's
absolutely.
exactly
that's the same
what
thing
I
got.
felt.
One says no, looks the other one, she thinks nope. So there you go.
And that's exactly what I felt at the time it happened. We just didn't know we got the voices. We didn't know that till we were walking away. Now, again, the French fries to go with that Happy Meal is that this is the very first time my son ever attempted to get an EVP. And it's his very first attempt, a little bugger man. He got that. And that one's going to be hard to top for me because it's just so much in those 2 that also most important, I think, too, is that it confirmed everything I was already feeling and getting with the dowsing rods. It was a hot moment in paranormal. As far as I'm concerned, it had just about everything. But get somebody to take that as evidence, they throw it right out. And that's what I'm saying about Baby with the Bathwater, because it was too much noise in the background. They'd find a way to throw it out and debunk it or whatever. That happened. my hand to, I'm telling you, it's credible. So it's trippy, right, Steve?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So now
clear.
I'm going to let you tell a little bit about what happened last Monday, because you're actually there. And I'm going to tell you why I think it's coming from Steve's end.
I think
whatever
so too.
It may be, whatever it may be, because when it happened, I was like almost looking off to my right, his left, expecting company to walk behind. I was like, who you got over there, Steve? I really did expect that. And I slowly, you can kind of see it on my face as I'm trying to process everything, because I was shocked nothing walked by, and then I'm hearing it again, and then people are saying they're hearing, and then Steve starts saying they're hearing. So how was that from your vantage point, Steve?
Well, I heard it, but I thought it was somebody there with you. I thought maybe Mario or Tone or somebody come out into the garage there with you. But then when you said you're hearing it and you thought it was here, I mean, I even took my headphones off and I could only hear it in the headphones. That was the weird part.
Mm-hmm.
But
hey,
I went to make sure, because it was really clear. And I went out to make sure there was nobody in my house. There wasn't. The doors are still locked.
Or the TV was on. You were checking that too.
The cats have turned the TV on before. But the TV wasn't on.
It could have been that too.
I even went out on the front porch to see. Sometimes my neighbors right next door are kind of loud, but there's a 12-foot gap or so between the privacy fence and then where their yard starts, and then another 10 or 12 feet to their house. Their porch light was on, but nobody was out there. So I have no idea what it could be.
I'm saying,
other than something in here. Now this place is haunted. I've seen a couple of things here, heard things here. Sandy and her husband, when they lived here before they moved to Albuquerque and sold me the house, they had a lot of experiences here.
Yep. Tell us a little more about that, Steve. Tell us a little more about that.
Sandy saw a little Native American boy kind of with a bowl haircut, like a Mo Howard haircut. She was asleep one night and woke up, and he was right above her, looking her right in the face, and then just disappeared. And I saw the same kid one night. We were sitting out on the back deck. She and I were the only ones here. And the light was on in the kitchen. We had our laptops out there. And where the kitchen curtain comes down over the door, there's a gap where there's about that much window that there's no curtain over. And I saw a little head, just the crown of his head, go bopping across the kitchen there. And I went in and looked, and the lights would go on and off out there too. And it wasn't any kind of short in the electricity or anything. I would come in and find the switch physically flipped on or off when we were the only ones here. And then another morning I was coming out of Studio A, which is across the hallway here. That's where I have my sound booth and my editing suite over there. And I was coming out, and at that time, this Studio B was a Robbie and Sandy's room. And just as I came out of the door, I saw the hem of like a bathrobe, like a white terry cloth bathrobe, go into this room.
That's creepy. I know.
So I went on down the hallway into the kitchen. Sandy's at the sink peeling potatoes.
It is.
And I knew better, because the hallway wouldn't be wide enough for her to pass me and me not know it. And I said,
Sandy,
were you just in the back bedroom? And she's like, no, I've been here doing this for a half an hour. So I came back and looked. There was nothing here that I could have mistaken for the hem of a bathrobe going into this room. But we did find out through some later research that in, I think it's 84 or 86, there's a restroom here just to my left. Yeah, I have to think which hand. Just to my left, there's a restroom here in Studio B, what this is now. And there was a lady that lived here at the time that had stage 4 breast cancer. And for whatever reason, I guess she was in a lot of pain. On top of that, she decided she didn't want to go out like that. She wanted to go on her own terms, and swallowed a bottle of something and expired on the floor back here in this bathroom. And they didn't find her for a few days. Now, I've heard her here before. That she was the one that I heard a really angry voice one morning say, God gave me breast cancer. And I rebuked her right away. I said, God didn't give you breast cancer. God comes to exhort, edify, and comfort. Satan is the one that comes to kill, steal, and destroy. And then I haven't heard her anymore since. I think she was angry with God when she went out like that. And she was afraid to go into the light. But after I had some other words for her too, some niceties. And I think after I did that, she crossed over. And then another day I was in the living room. I've got a live set out there in front of the fireplace. I was setting up the camera and the video switcher out there. And I heard a voice down the hallway, but a young girl, probably late teens, early 20s, and hello, like not hello, how are you doing, but hello, what's all this mess in the living room? And I knew Sandy was outside, nobody else here. I went out the front door. She's out there trimming her wisteria. And I said, did you just come in and say hello and go back out? Again, I knew the answer. She's like, nope.
Sandy getting it done, ain't she?
Haven't been inside.
Peeling potatoes, trim the wisteria. Oh God, it just sounded great. It's like every time you say she's doing something different, she's just a go-getter.
She stayed busy all the time. When she lived here, we had 2 dogs, 9 cats, 10 cats. I think.
Oh wow!
She's I love her.
Several litter boxes. She had berry bushes back there, tomato plants, an herb garden out front. She had all kinds of different flowers, flower bed. There's a cactus garden out there. I'm going to have to figure out how to take care of all that come springtime. So I've got my work cut out for me.
All right. That's amazing. Well, I'm trying to read the chat too, man. I'm having a hard time. Listen, guys, I've had a week. I mean, it's God love it. But man, I know we all have, everybody. And that's what's good about getting together, and doing this. So let's play the clip. There's more voices. I mean, I knew, you'd heard several different voices in that house, Steve. So, no. I mean, it's not like the things that are there. Is there a portal there, Lynn? You think?
That's my feeling, because maybe the portal was left when the lady crossed over, which I believe that
I think there is.
You did help her.
We gotta close it.
And another thing too, a lot of times is, people they ask about mirrors being portals. And I recently learned a way to tell the difference between whether a mirror is just a regular mirror or it is a portal. If you take your finger and put it on and your finger continues, it's a real mirror. If it has a gap, when you touch it, there's a gap before your finger starts in the reflection in the mirror, it is a portal.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yes. So when you buy your mirrors, be sure to finger your mirrors. Yeah, before you buy them.
Before you buy them.
Sure. Yeah.
New rule here at Journey Through the Gate.
Oh, 2 new rules. Don't sign your papers at the hospital and the finger thing.
Yep.
And watch out for the funeral homes too. When my mom passed away,
oh my God,
I signed the thing and they said, oh, we'll just, whatever burial insurance she has, that's all it'll be. We'll just, no, they came after me after everything was said and done with an additional $8,000 they tacked on there.
Yep.
And I refused to pay it. I said, no, you said you would do it for what the burial insurance would cover.
Yep, they forget about
that. The lady got hateful with me. She said, this is your mother we're talking about. I said, okay, dig her up, put her in the yard. I'll start a family spot here in the backyard. Don't mean nothing to me. I can dig a hole too.
I can't tolerate that.
And that was the last I heard from him. But
I love that.
So tapping, that foot just wagging like one of those cartoons where you wouldn't see the above the waist. You wouldn't see. It would just be like the kitten or the dog on the floor, and that foot just a tapping. She was mad. The hands on the hips. You're in trouble. All right, so we're gonna play this little clip. Again, like I said, it's not fancy, but there's something going on, because even if it was the neighbor, that neighbor would have been right behind Steve, because I'm telling you,
it was.
Plus, it was intelligent responses. It was responding to stuff that we were saying. The neighbors, unless they were pressed up against the window listening, and they're an older couple.
Maybe our company will come in here too.
Navajo couple. I would say they're probably in their 60s. They have a sheep farm over on another mesa. So they're in and out a lot, but it's an older couple, and that sounded like a younger person, a young boy is what I heard, but not the little kid that's been seen here. I think it sounded more like a teenager, maybe early 20s or something.
Mm-hmm. Well, man, it's tripping dickly. I'm just saying, it's just, you got to go all right, imagine this, and I'll shut up. Like I was sitting in that chair in that hallway in Gettysburg that night in the window. I felt the energy. It coincided with the feeling I got of the room atmosphere changing. The question I was asking, the dowsing rods crossing and intelligently answering and confirming what I was feeling. There's like so much going on all at the same time. It's almost like you're outside looking at it. I can't really describe it, but it's the same here. When it happened, I felt that. I felt someone behind Steve walking, stopping for a moment, almost like it was gonna like lean in. When I'm looking at Steve, I don't know what he's sitting in front of. That could be a short wall. It could be, green screen. It could be anything. But for me, I just thought somebody was going to walk right behind Steve and he had company and was just going to come in, pop in and say hi, like, a photobomb or something. And when it didn't happen, it was weird.
It sounded like they had just come in from outside or something. And they're into a room that was adjacent to where he is what true. It sounded like.
Yep. Yeah. Yep. And Lynn's not the only one telling me this. The people I invited to come on tonight, if they had a minute to come in and tell you what they felt the same and didn't know what.
Sorry, I was muted. But I don't have any friends out here. I basically don't have any friends, period. But I certainly don't have any that I would know well enough that could come and just walk in my house. Plus, I'll double off the door anyway.
The way you said that was so bad.
Well, I don't know anybody. I mean, I wave to my neighbors. I know of them, but I've never been in their house. They never.
Should always wave to your neighbors.
I've only been here since July. Yeah, I'm the guy that sits out on the porch and waves at people like that. I've taken up that gauntlet.
When I lived in Bama, I used to have to go down this long old street, not far from the street where I saw the little Bigfoot, and not far from the street. It may have been the same street. So I wonder now, is the street that led to the street that had no heart, where I said you felt like you were driving through a thickness. It was just sucked your. It was like it just tried to suck it out of you, and you went real fast. You know what I'm talking about, Lynn. I can't explain it, but I know you felt it. And it's the same one I saw, that duck-billed platypus thing going across the street that gave me the stink eye. It was terrible.
What are you looking at?
That road. Oh my God. All right, so here we go. Everybody listen, put your ears on. Sorry it's small. So this is why I'm so excited, because for one, it's as Steve said, an Australian version. Now I'm hearing voices, Steve.
I heard something that time, but I don't know what it was.
I heard it too.
I don't hear anything.
Did you guys hear that?
Yep.
It was in the stream, but not in the room or in my house here.
It was a female.
Yes, it was. I'll play that. I'll try to go back and replay as I go, because StreamYard only gives me a limited control over this stuff. So I'm going to do the best I can to try to catch where it was at. I heard it. Okay. Back just a titch more. Right about there. This is why I'm so excited, because for one, it's as Steve
right
said,
there.
Australian
there
version.
It is.
Now I'm hearing voices. Did you get that?
Yes.
It was almost. It was like, Steve, what are you getting on there? Had you heard that one before?
I don't think I heard that one. I have no idea what that was.
That's the first.
There was one that sounded like we were talking about evidence, and it was like, oh my God, like how much more evidence do you people need?
Yes.
And I hadn't heard this one, I don't think.
Yeah, that's further on down when it really starts getting jiggy with it.
It sounded almost like somebody singing or being silly or something.
No. It's like that kind of note. So I want you guys to listen for it. It's in that vibration.
Like they're mocking us a little bit,
Whoa, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I lost it. So just bear with it. It started a little too early. Let's go again. Look at Crispy. It's Star, isn't it? It's Star. So this is why I'm so excited, because for one, it's as Steve said, an Australian version.
Right there.
Now I'm hearing voices, Steve.
Yeah,
and again,
I heard something that time, but I don't know what it was.
I heard it. Yeah, I'm sorry, Steve. Go ahead. What did you say?
Oh, it's like something like almost gibberish and nonsense, like "ta-da" maybe or something. I don't know.
Yeah, kind of that
announcing itself.
It also said something while you were talking, Steve. It said something. It followed up with something. That same voice was there behind. Can you back it up a little bit again?
I can. And I don't know what they are, honey. And I was going to go over and do that today, but I just didn't have time. I had to work long hours today. So you can go back and listen to it. It starts right about here. I think it started at about.
I think during the stream you called out the time.
I did.
So
I did.
Okay.
I think I did, but I did it kind of
after we figured out that we were hearing voices.
Yeah, I went
yeah, that everybody was hearing voices, not just one person. They were hearing
true.
the same thing too.
So true. So this is why I'm so excited, because for one, it's, as Steve said, an Australian version. Now I'm hearing voices, Steve.
I heard something that time, but I don't know what it was.
I heard it too.
I don't hear anything.
Did you guys hear that?
It was in the stream, but not in the room or in my house here.
That was a guy's voice. I just heard a yep.
You said, "Do you hear that?" Did you guys hear that? Something said, "Yep."
That's the first time I heard that one. I did this time. I didn't hear it the last time I listened. I'm telling you, more than one person told me there's all kinds of stuff in this. It's crazy. I'm telling you, it's crazy.
That time, but I don't know what it was.
I heard it too.
I don't hear anything.
Did you guys hear that?
Yep, it was in the stream, but not in the room or in my house here.
That was a guy's voice.
It was like a man's voice, and it was like "ooh" or something. I don't know. Now this studio is haunted.
Let's
the
mark
bathroom
this time.
back here. There
What's
was a
our
lady.
Times? Anybody got the time? Throw the time up here, Ted.
There's a lady passed away in this bathroom back here back in the 80s. There's a restroom.
Mods, throw the time up here.
In my studio here, but that sounded like a decidedly male
9:05
voice.
p.m. Mark it. Yeah, but how long is it into the stream? 1 hour, 10 minutes, and about 10 seconds, I'd say. Throw it up in the live chat so I can remember, and I'll go back and what was that breathing crap? Was that? Did you hear that?
That might have been my vape.
Oh, okay. Geez, man. 1 hour, 10 minutes, and about
kind of sizzle to it. Let me
10 seconds, I'd say. Throw it up in the live chat so I can remember, and I'll go back and I'll listen. That was you. I wasn't looking. I heard it.
Good stuff.
It sounded like it come from behind you, Steve. I swear it did. I mean, I almost expected to see somebody walking behind you.
There's a wall behind me.
But do you know what I mean? That's
Mulder
where it
didn't hear
sounded.
it.
He didn't.
Yeah, Mulder. He didn't respond to any of it. Now, before, when all the cats were here with Sandy, there was one day I was sitting in Studio A and watched every cat one at a time came down the hallway and looked into this room that I'm in now, then turned around and went back like they were tagging off with each other, one at a time. And then the dog, Sandy had this big woolly dog named Katie, and the dog comes down the hallway. It looks in the bedroom and goes back. So whatever was in here told the first one, go back and tell everybody else to come, but only one at a time. Something. I don't know what that was all about. But Mulder, he's kind of neurotic. Anyway, he stayed with me that time. But I know the cats have seen things here. There was another time when 3 or 4 of them were sitting down here at the end of the hallway looking up at something that there was nothing there.
Gatekeepers, can you help Linda out with what bacon is? There you go. See, they already got a hold of it. See? There you go, Linda. Bacon is love. Everybody throw bacon at Linda. Okay. So I think Lynn had a very interesting response when she first heard this to why Mulder may not have reacted. Do you want to reiterate that, Lynn?
Yes, because either he is accustomed to seeing that particular ghost in the house, like a regular person walking around, or it was somebody, or it was someone that was familiar to him from the living.
One other time back when I still lived in Oregon, in Portland, Oregon, the house that I lived in belonged to a widow, and her husband had gotten killed tragically. Well, one night, Mulder and I went to the kitchen, and there was just like a night light on, and I saw a shadow figure come out of the laundry room, through the dining room, through the kitchen, and then out through the wall, which would have gone into the garage, the wall behind the stove there. And Mulder saw that, but he wagged his tail at it. He didn't bark, but it was just a shadow of a person. And I told the widow, and she said, that was my husband. He comes sometimes. He would mess with the electronics and things there. He would turn on the TV or the stereo to a station that it was different than when she turned it off and things like that. He liked to mess with the electrical stuff. And she said that was his domain. He had installed the surround sound system and everything before he passed away. But Mulder did respond to that one, but he didn't bark. It didn't seem to scare him. He didn't bark. He just wagged his tail. That's not anybody that he knew or ever met, but it appeared that
that's
to Mulder, it was friendly.
That's bacon. Doesn't feel nice. It feels nice if you never thought
Canadian
it feels so
bacon
good having bacon
is
chucked at
just
you.
ham that's sorry that it's not bacon.
I want to tell a true quick story, and then I want to hear more Lynn's opinion on what's going on here. But we did a freezer count, rotate stuff, and I was getting hollered out what was in there, and it popped in that we had 14 pounds of bacon stuck in a little freezer. And I said, well, that just shows you how important bacon is to us. and also tells us we need more bacon.
14 pounds, you can go through that quick.
Yeah, it's probably not even a pound anymore. It used to be a pound of bacon. It's not. It's gone
14
from
ounces or 12 ounces.
Yeah,
or
12
now.
ounces.
But
Glenn says he's not hearing anything. Let me tell you, Glenn, everything you hear in the background going on here, you might not be able to hear exact words, but you're definitely hearing voices and rumblings. Ted is correct. This went on for 10 minutes or so. And we're yammering on trying to get times, and Steve is also explaining at the same time. We're talking over each other, but that's just what we do, and it's fine.
And somebody asked in the chat, could it be somebody that some kid could have hacked into transmission? No, because it wouldn't sound. They would be on mic with us. They wouldn't be in another part of the house or in the ether or wherever they are. Yeah.
I
didn't hear it in the house. Even when I took the headphones off, I couldn't hear it. But then when I put the headphones on, I could hear it. It's weird. So and it's like it was coming through the stuff.
This is also why at the same time I was talking about, could it be a ham radio? Is it somebody in the neighborhood? We're picking up stuff. I'm thinking about Philins picking up radio things. And I'm right away thought of a gentleman that just popped in, and I'm going to bring him in on this since we're just starting on this, going over this little clip I've got. Because again, ladies and gentlemen, if there was somebody in here throwing stuff into Steve's mic, and that's legitimate, then and again, he's heard voices in the house. There's no reason not to believe it couldn't happen. But you witnessed it live if you were here last Monday. And I thought it important to get all points of view on this. And I just happen to know an expert in communication with lots of different devices. And I thought I would ask him on tonight. And last minute, the gentleman and wonderful person that he is, he said, you bet I will. I've got a show I got to do, and I'll pop in after. And here he is, Mr. Greg Koss. Come on in here, Greg. Hi, sweetie.
Hi, Greg.
Hi, everybody.
Good to see you.
Sorry to give you such a busy night there, honey, but I'm so glad. Thank you last minute coming in here to help us with this.
Yeah, and I've been wanting.
That's fine.
Yep, I've been wanting for Greg to meet Steve because they both are kind of do similar things, but I mean they would be like two peas in a pod almost because of
cool.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
You guys.
So Steve Stockton, Greg Koss, and I want to get you guys
Steve.
together. He's just one of us. And so this is what happened. I'm gonna catch him up. We did a show last Monday night. Now, in the situation in Steve's house, he's living in the middle of New Mexico. He does have neighbors, but the way he's structured and what he's up against now is the wall you were up against last Monday night, right? You're always up against some wall, right?
Same. This wall, this studio.
Same wall. Yeah, he's always up against.
A wall
Ever
here,
since I known him, at least he backed into a corner.
Central heating units in this closet, and there's a bathroom right through the wall behind me. That's the one where the lady passed away.
Right. Yep. And when I first heard this, you'll see it in the tape. I heard that first low murmuring thing, and I'm like, okay, well, there's somebody walking. I felt, my intuition was somebody just going to walk right behind Steve and photobomb. And I'm waiting for this person to come in, and nobody shows up. And that's when I kind of stopped going, what's going on here? It's coming through the headphones. Nobody heard it when we did this, Steve, same thing for you, right? You were hearing it here. Yeah.
Yeah, I heard it in the headphones, but anytime I pulled the headphones off, I couldn't hear anything in the house other than absolute silence. I've got the central heating turned off.
Right. No window open behind him or nothing. No people walking behind it because it was so.
There's no people here. So
yeah, and it had an energy to it. So anyhow, so right away, Greg, I thought of you too because you've been expert in ghost communication stuff, and well, we hate to throw that name around, but as far as you've spent a lot of time with technology and, and picking up radio signals and stuff. I thought ham radio, are we picking up signals here? Because it sounds like a conversation when you watch through the whole thing. And gosh, what Steve and I talked about stories where people were picking up radio signals and fillings and stuff. So what are your thoughts? How possible is that we're just picking up stuff?
At first, when I played it, and I played it the other day, I thought what you wanted was for me to pick up the words.
Okay.
And then I went ahead and listened to it a few extra times, and I said, there's got to be something more to this, because I heard the chatter.
Okay. Yep, that's the chatter.
And the chatter,
good way to put it.
was in the beginning.
Yep. Crazy, right, folks? I'm telling you, it all happened live here last Monday, and it's been so weird. Steve and I are not stuff happens to us all the time. I mean, we've hurt people with icebergs, and we didn't want to. I mean, so many things. Vases fall off of walls, and pictures and things. Electronics go out, whole houses and stuff. It's crazy. But Steve is living in a place that's got activity. So if they're trying to communicate, great, so be it. But there's something going on here and different. And I think everybody here that's got intuition picked up that too, didn't you? Did you feel anything, Greg?
I did, but what I was going to say is this: how far away are you from each other?
Cisco and myself, we're on opposite sides of the country. I'm in New Mexico and she's in New Jersey. So,
okay. When we do a lot of our spirit box work, I try to set it up in that and to that sense, where I'm going longer distances, because I felt in the very beginning that what it's going to do, it's going to amplify the more spirit boxes you have going, etc. The longer the distance, it's going to amplify the amount of actual evidence that you will have come through the box, whether it's chatter or, you're picking up different things. It's like when, on a shortwave radio, which Cisco said earlier, and you're turning the dial, you're picking up all sorts of different frequencies.
Yep.
And that I think is the key. But, when you ask a question and you go from your spot to Cisco's, and neither one of you know what the question is. Somebody asks you both, remotely as a moderator, and they ask you this question, and you both come up with an answer that's fairly similar in nature. You go ahead and say, "Whoa, wait a minute, how did that happen?" Oh my God, we won what? And that's just strictly
now. Tell me, there's somebody watching TV somewhere around y'all, because that's crazy.
I just heard something in my headphones.
Somebody's got a TV on.
It's not me.
It's not me. It's not you, Cisco. The voice is back. Again.
That's the same voice.
It sounded the same to me.
That was a guy's voice.
I wasn't going to say anything to see if anybody else heard it.
Oh my God. He said, oh my God, something. That's the same voice, Lynn. I felt the same energy.
Yes, it is. It is the same voice.
So that was like a validation right there.
Absolutely.
There you go.
Whoa.
Maybe we should ask him if he wants to tell us anything else.
He said, oh my God, he said that last Monday. Honey, do you want to talk? But you take the mic. Please tell us what you need. Do you need help?
Yes, Steve, I think that he's on your end, and maybe he needs to hear you say that.
Yep, you do it.
I'm going to turn the gain up just a little bit. So
please do.
If that helps.
I'll be quiet.
Or
in fact, I'll cut my mic off.
I think you should keep them all on, though.
Okay, I'll just be quiet.
Really, just because of the amount of air in between, just the reception. And
FRL, if I could hear my neighbor's TV like that from here, you would be able to hear it outside, and there was nothing.
That's what I'm saying. It happened.
Say
it again. He's saying, "Oh my God!" It's the same thing he said last Monday.
It sounded like the same.
This time he wasn't laughing though. No. This one sounded more Like he was
like he's
going,
a little
"Oh my God,
exasperated,
they're
like, "Oh
still
my God,
talking
I
about
told
it," or
y'all
something.
last week."
Yeah, that's what it felt like.
And then here we are a week later, and I'm having to tell you again.
Wow, that's crazy. Well,
And then Blue Cross is right. It's assuming that it is here. It might be Cisco's house. I don't know.
that's true.
I
That's
only
true.
heard in here. I don't.
But like I said, the oddest thing is it feels like it's behind Steve.
Dead silence if I take my headphones off.
It feels like it's behind Steve. It doesn't feel like it's around me. I would feel it. I felt those.
I feel it around Steve too.
I do too.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Steve.
I do.
I'm sorry. It's
just
there.
in case.
It's there. And there's more than one. They were having a conversation. So let's play the tape again.
How you
Maybe.
doing, sweetheart?
Hi, Tiger Lily. Hey, pancakes and bacon. Throw bacon and pancakes. I love you,
Tiger
babe.
Lily.
Thanks for coming in. Thanks for coming in.
Tiger Lily's
I'm
the
just so
future
excited.
Mrs.
Caillou,
Steve
hello,
Stockton.
wonderful to see you, babe.
Tiger Lily's the what?
The future Mrs. Steve Stockton.
Isn't that wonderful?
Yay!
Isn't that wonderful?
Oh yes, that's wonderful.
So much love and bacon and oh my God. So let's see if we can hear this again. So Greg, we just started. I'm gonna go ahead and play it again. It's all through here. And again, guys, this is the same voice I just heard. Hey, Ann, welcome in. So let's start it again. I'm sorry, guys. Here we go. It's amazing. So this is why I'm so excited. Because for one, it's, as Steve said, an Australian version. Now I'm hearing voices, Steve.
I heard something that time, but I don't know what
that?
it was. I wonder if it's
I heard it too.
Is that a foreign
Did you
language?
guys hear that?
That's
Diné or Navajo or something, because I'm right at the edge of the Navajo Nation reservation.
That was the very beginning. That was the first I heard.
That was the first you heard. Now, again, if you go back and you listen to last Monday night show, it started earlier than this because I heard a little rumbling, but until we got to about this part is when I started to feel like it was walking behind Steve, and I'm looking to see who's going to pop in, It's crazy, but it's all through this. It's nuts.
It was in the stream, but not in the room or in my house here.
That was the guy's voice.
It was like a man's voice, and it was like "woo" or something. I don't know. Now this studio is haunted.
Let's
the
mark
bathroom
this time.
back here. There
What's
was a
our
lady.
times? Anybody got the time? Throw the time up here, Ted.
There was a lady passed away in this bathroom.
Right back there. There's convo, chatter. Almost this is where that chattering kind of stuff starts, but it's two different things, and you can feel it. It's different.
Back here, back in the 80s, there's a restroom.
Mods, throw the time up here.
In my studio
I've
here,
got
but that sounded like a decidedly male
9:05
voice.
p.m. Mark it. Yeah, but how long is it into the stream? 1 hour, 10 minutes, and about 10 seconds, I'd say. Throw it up in the live chat so I can remember, and I'll go back and I'll listen. But I heard it.
Good stuff.
It sounded like it come from behind you, Steve. I swear it did. I mean, I almost expected to see somebody walking behind you.
There's a wall behind me.
But you know what I mean? That's
Mulder
where it
didn't hear
sounded.
it.
He didn't? Okay.
He's down here. He's fast asleep.
Maybe it's just us, but man,
if
that
he
was
hears,
weird.
If anybody comes to visit or if there's anybody at the door, he goes.
Did anybody hear that? Woo?
Yeah.
Just
Sapphire Elf, we're listening to a recording of last week's stream, but it happened again tonight, just a few minutes ago. So it is happening live. I think she's confused, or he. I don't know.
Yeah.
What FRL? Don't want to miss.
Sometimes with the names, guys, you got to forgive us because we're just going to go with the feeling we're getting off the name sometimes.
Yeah, and the avatar is female, but that doesn't mean anything.
I think I called Echo wrong for weeks. Okay.
Fast asleep.
Maybe it's just us, but man, that was weird.
Midnight Society. I thought that was a guy at the door. He goes.
I'm sorry. What, hon?
Midnight
I can't
Society
tell if it's last Monday, Steve, or this
Monday.
Steve. I'm like, I'm answering the one that's in there talking. It's weird. It's messing me up bad. Okay, I'm going back just a second. There's a little bit more. And then the big one where he says, oh my God, on a laugh, if you know what I mean. This one was different this week. Gosh, that's crazy. I mean, I almost expected to see somebody walking behind you.
There's a wall behind me.
But do you know what I mean? That's
Mulder
where it
didn't
sounded.
hear it.
He didn't? Okay.
He's down here. He's fast asleep.
Maybe it's just us, but man, that
he
was
hears,
weird.
If anybody comes to visit or if there's anybody at the door, he goes nuts. So
that was so weird.
That was weird. Ghost in the Machine.
Woo, man, woo. That one gave me kind of chills deep down. It really did. So, Anyhow,
But to me, it sounded in my mix here like it came from your side. So that's
did it really? Because it sounded. I swear, it sounded. I almost
is
expected. I had
Mario
to
out there
physically.
running around in his Speedo again.
It could have been Mario. No. He's not feeling good
Well, I've
tonight.
got
So
neighbors. There's a
you might
window
have
on
heard
this
him.
side of my studio. I've got it
But it
covered
didn't
up.
sound like that. It sounded like it came from behind you.
Yelling at his dog or something. I don't know.
It could be, but we got it marked. We'll go back and we'll listen to it. We're all on it. But this case, and plus, I don't blame it for giving you the willies, because this is what I'm saying. There's some fantastic cases out there, and I dig for them, guys, for you. I swear I do. And when I find one again and finally get it sorted, and this right behind here, you can hear a conversation, and it sounds like somebody turned on a TV and somebody was talking like, I don't know why I felt like sports, but that's what came to my mind right here. Finally get it sorted, and try to hear it, and it to you. And every time we do, we find a little more that we didn't know, or we get a little deeper. We find out the story is a lot deeper or bigger or a lot more than we thought. Maybe some of the things we thought were true weren't, but maybe some. Now I'm hearing it again.
I didn't hear it that time.
I did.
It was almost a count.
I hear somebody talking, but it's in here. Wait a minute. It's so weird. I hear it in the headphones, but I don't hear it. The only thing I can think of is somebody outside next door. But I went and looked, and there was nobody out there.
It said, "Oh my God." I heard it plain and simple.
Somebody marked that
1:12:29.
Okay.
See, Lindsay heard it. Didn't you? I swear, plain as day. Laughing, and said it like he was laughing. Did you guys hear it that time? Oh my God, on the laugh. That's crazy. One more time, and I'm taking this down.
Okay.
See, Lindsay heard it. Oh, Lindsay heard it. Not far enough. I heard it plain and simple.
Somebody marked that.
Or maybe some of the things we thought were true weren't, but maybe some. Now I'm hearing it again.
I didn't hear it that time. I hear somebody talking. It was almost like a cry. It's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And it was like on a laugh, like, oh my God. Greg, what do you think?
I agree.
It's
slow motion. There was no TV. There is a TV in there, but it was not on. I went out there and looked.
It sounded like TV. That is the perfect way to describe it. Now, Lynn, going through your intuition and everything that you got, she got the same feelings I got.
I felt that it was coming from Steve's end. And also, it might be because that portal is still open where that lady crossed through. Sometimes when there are spirits on another dimension and there's that opening, sometimes the conversation can come through.
Yeah.
So
and that would make sense. It sounded like it's in another room because it's in the bathroom, which is through this wall. Now there's a door here, but they usually keep it closed.
Man.
Yep.
So
and very close
if
to
it
where
were
you're at.
somebody in that bathroom talking, it might sound like it was coming from down this way, which is the living room, or through this door, which is the bathroom. So interesting.
Believe it or not, that's water.
Yeah, and it's just mind blowing, and that we got it tonight too. So again, it's the feeling on top of everything else. And I know I talked to Brian Bowden also, who I said, if you're listening, pop in, because he got something. I believe he said, I don't want to put words in his mouth. I think he said that he also heard, I know something, after Steve said something like that, that he answered back, or it answered back. So again, when you take all of this and put it together, the feeling on top of everything else, I think there's something going on over there, Steve.
Yeah, and I think I'm hearing something just now. Let me mute everything. I'm going to go look and just make sure I did that last time, and there was nothing there. But
go right ahead.
I don't want somebody to be carrying all the stuff out of the front room there while I'm in here.
It's getting loud over there, Garth. I mean, so
I'll be right back.
Greg, let me ask you this: how could we, narrow it down that it's not coming from? Is there any tests we can do to eliminate the idea that it might be, our mics are picking it up and it's, the guy 2 houses down with a ham radio and a big antenna?
Or the baby monitor.
Right.
Extreme monitor.
Yeah. Yeah. Something like that. Is there anything we can do?
You're going outside of the bounds. If you wanted to disprove something, it's going to have to be on your end to begin with, because you can't go to the other end. He has to do it from his end. You can do it from your end, and vice versa. And then even when I played it here, it took me probably about maybe 25 minutes to go ahead and do the stop and go back and forth to try to really understand the words that were coming through. And the frequencies are of vital importance here, I think. Like he says, this guy says, it's like a transmission, it's frequency. So the frequencies all operate independently of each other. And when they come through, like what?
Yes, so I do.
What Lynn says, you can go ahead and have it go ahead and actually come through that portal.
And there's a lot of things, and well, this is it. It sounded in both times, both last Monday and this Monday, almost like it was a response to what we were saying. The chatter behind it, the conversation where you can't really make out the words of what they're saying, but you can almost tell it's two different energies talking, sounds like a TV coming on. Perfect description. But the other voice sounded like it was almost in response. And I liked what Steve said too. He's on Indian reservation. I mean, all that land out in New Mexico. A lot of this may not even be English. So I think what I'm getting, and this is just off the top, this is just feeling, which they don't like to talk about in the paranormal shows on TV, is it's more than one. I'm leaning a lot towards what Lynn is saying here as far as the portal. And I think Greg was shaking his head too, that it's probably is. If Steve did cross her and he didn't close the portal, and there's a spot in there for however long she lingered and all of that back and forth, all that energy is in there. I'm thinking we're picking up genuine stuff, because it's not, it sounds like it's in reaction to what we were saying. And it changed from last Monday to this Monday in the inflection I felt. Did you get that feeling, Lynn? It was same voice, different feel.
Yes, the inflection that I got is almost that they were surprised that you were recognizing that they were saying something. With you, you took it a little different. They were like, "Oh my God, they can hear us." You know what I'm saying? And that was how I took it. But they're saying, and then there was the dog barking in the background, which I didn't hear this time on the clip, but there was a dog that was barking in the background. Yeah.
Yep. Oh yeah. Oh, and the dog, I forgot the dog that was barking. And that's when I asked Steve, like, he's been going a long time. You don't think he got hit or hurt or something? Stephen, don't take him on yourself. Oh, that reminds me today. The funniest thing, I should have loaded it up here. Are you okay, Steve? You back on hard?
Nothing out there. I checked the front and the back. The neighbor's lights aren't on. It's even snowing outside. You know how quiet it is when it snows.
There's TV on.
Nobody out there. There's no TV, just the fireplace. We've got a natural gas fireplace in there. That's on. The cat's on the mantle. Mulder's in here with me. There's
Cat's
nothing
on the mantle
anywhere.
And Mulder's here with me. It sounds like a country song.
How are they going to eliminate the terrestrial possibilities?
The terrestrial, you can't. This whole subject is based on common sense, especially
and the fact that it was intelligent responses, that it seemed to be answering questions that we were asking and responding to us. That would rule out anything just terrestrial interference or somebody walking by or anything. Plus, I'm on the back side of the house,
right?
And the only reason I thought it might be the neighbors is because of the window here, but they're not even home tonight. So
I just read that and it was like,
The terrestrial possibilities, yeah. You can't. We could all be living in, a video game. So,
Exactly.
but as far as I'm saying is what I felt. Now we are here. I know a lot of people here agree with me as far as this. We're at this level where we're feeling like we actually chose to come back at this time.
Yes, we
If
did.
you believe in souls and you believe in timing and you believe in all this, I think a lot of this stuff is opening up. Steve's been there. It's no secret that Sandy saw things. They have they did have a little boy ghost running around there that was pretty
Yeah, she saw things
territorial.
for years.
Yeah,
And
for
I've
years.
only been here since July. They moved to Albuquerque in November, so it seemed to be more active when she was here. But then here lately, it started back up, and now
Well,
it's
I
just
think
me and
people are
Barbara here
also
and
drawn
the
to you,
cat.
Steve. We've talked about
That's
this for
true.
years.
Well,
How
I talked
people
about
are.
that too.
Yes.
Every house I've ever
Big
lived
time.
in was haunted to some degree. But
You're
then I came to
haunted.
the conclusion a couple of years ago, it's me
You
that's
are.
haunted.
Yeah,
It's not
it is.
because I've had roommates where they lived there previously, and then they never saw or heard anything. And then I move in, and literally all hell breaks loose sometimes.
Right.
So it's
But an
seems
energy can
something that's
affect.
following me around.
An energy can affect. We all know this. We're
Yes.
way past the whole point of do ghosts exist and all this. We're way past that. It's like saying the magic bullet. What did the magic bullet stuff? Stop, please.
Yeah, and what you go ahead.
No, you go. No, and I
And
think it's the place too, right, Lynn?
Yeah, I agree. But what you were saying, Cisco, about the fact that we chose to come in at this time, those of us, we have incarnated. We have not reincarnated in this lifetime, which means that we have chose.
Yep,
we were chosen, and we chose to come in at this time for certain purposes and events that are going to be happening, that have happened in our lives. So it's a little bit different. And so our lights are brighter, not that it's better than anybody, but our lights are just brighter. And
we're exercising it.
Right. And lost souls and things are attracted to us because they think we're angels or something that can help them in some cases.
Pointed something out there too. Didn't mean to interrupt you, but RH negative, that seems to be a factor. Sandy was RH negative.
I'm RH negative.
I was going to say, you've got green eyes. I was going to bet you were RH negative too.
Yes.
So
me too. You got 3 of them here, and if you knew how small in the population, the percentage of people who have RH negative blood, and you've got 3 of them sitting here. Greg, do you know? Are you?
I may be positive. I'm B
negative.
So are you?
I'm second rarest.
So but 3 out of 4. Yep. What are the odds?
A lot of people in the chat are too. I know Anella is, Catheta is,
and
several people in here.
Isn't that crazy? And it's just so cool how we're all drawn to the light.
We are. We tend to be drawn toward one another to congregate together.
Let me tell you something. They're not the only ones with bloodlines.
Last week I did the big stream, or the stream over on the big channel had 800 and something people in there watching me live, and I took a poll. And out of those 800 people, I'd say more than half of them were RH negative. They just we attract each other.
Yeah, yep. Come on to Mama Gum, y'all. There's rats in the corn. Come on.
RH negative are most likely some kind of indigo or star children, crystal children, or something like that.
That's amazing.
Yes. Yeah, well, my son is negative too, and he is psychic like all get out. I mean, he's AB negative, so yeah. Definitely.
Well, it's I don't pretend to understand it. I mean, I've heard about it all my life. I've heard all kinds of different things, but it is a fact that they're more creative in this and that, more light people. But that doesn't mean one or the other, like other people can't be. I mean, it's just abilities and things like that. I think get a little bit stronger, or our direction that we go in is a little stronger. It takes us a while to cut that path, but boy, once we do. We try to bring a lot of people with us. That's what I'm trying to do too. That's what we're all doing. But
planting seeds.
Yeah, I can't thank you guys enough for all these wonderful ideas. I mean, this was what a chance this was on live TV. Whatever it was coming through, I didn't want to just jump to conclusions that it was paranormal. I certainly didn't. But if I'm sitting here after 50 some years experience, I know when I hear a voice come in this side of my head where it's coming from, and I know when it comes inside my head where it's coming from. We learn our tools, we learn our filters, we learn our intuitions, we learn how to. Nobody questions the rabbit why he he stills and gets low and darts off and doesn't think about it. It's instinct. It's instinct.
But the thing I find interesting, it only happens apparently doing this show. I've done live streams. I streamed 24 hours live the past 3 weekends, and nobody heard anything. I don't hear anything when I'm here. When I'm in Studio A across the hall in my sound booth over there, I've never had anything come through on those recordings. So it's something I think when Cisco and I get together, it amps up.
You think it's a combination of not only, if you wanted to use the word live, but also residual? Because there's a lot of parts in there that come through. You know, what I was listening to the other day, that was the first thing I picked up. I thought that there was residual in there.
That's possible.
So, it could be. It could be.
Now, Lizzie Gordon in the chat there, she was with me on Saturday night. She said they did hear the voice on something I was doing Saturday night, and I was on a couple of different lives over there. I was on another live. While I was doing my live, I was playing videos, and then I went and sat in on another on Lee's music channel, First Floor Audio. Then Lizzie, put in the chat there where it was and what you heard.
Hey, how you doing?
Same thing with Valeska Axe Murder House.
Yeah.
A lot of the recording, or a lot of the EVPs that they record are the same ones over the year.
Yeah, and we Cisco and I had Michael Laciana on one night, and he had stuff from Brushy Mountain State Prison in Tennessee. Then you could tell some of those guys talking about something, and give me a cigarette,
and the clanking,
here comes the guard, or something like that, and there have been prisoners there a long time, but there were still people there that were talking about the guards and prisoners.
Brushy's on fire.
I think too, though. I think it's a mixture, like Greg says. I really do, because it changed from last Monday to this Monday. The energy changed. There's a stronger energy presence there, and then there's a lighter, almost not picking up too much, but just on the voice itself rather than the energy, and then the voice as a separate. You see, Lynn knows exactly what I'm talking about, because she picked up the same thing without me saying a word to her. I said, please listen to this and tell me what you think. And she came back with the same feelings. And that's what I was shooting for, because we're so connected when it comes to that. And I know her abilities are different than mine, but we feel the same, and we're comfortable enough with them that we know the signs. We know how they react. And my first reaction was walking behind Steve, and was going to duck in, probably with a drink and a cell, whatever, because I heard the conversation, like was talking on the phone or something, and just pop in and go, hey, how you doing? I was waiting for Steve to tell me he had company, and I was going to let him go. I mean, I had all this stuff processing through my head. I felt it. I was shocked when I didn't see it. That's how strong it was. And Lynn felt the same thing. So I think that counts for something, I mean, if I had a machine that did the same thing for 50 years and it was doing the same thing again, I would rely on that, and that's how I have to process. Go ahead.
Excuse me. Just don't jump out of your chair.
Yeah.
Like your hair's on fire.
Yeah. I know, but it's a trip. And if what we should have done is just got real quiet and said, but I think it was reacting, like Greg said, to some of the things that we were saying. And
I
people
agree.
in the chat also asked about, are they reacting because we're talking about it? Yes. Because if it's happening a lot when Steve and I are together, again, I will express that.
And it seems only happen when we talk, and it'll be like between gaps. But then when we stay silent and try to listen, it doesn't say anything.
Right.
It's like it's something to do with Cisco and I'm pretty sure.
Well, we've had that bond too. Just like all of us when we met, we all had that bond. We're all clicking, and I think this is happening a lot. And Steve jokes about, the whole thing with, if you're familiar with The Stand, how people separated over, there was spiritual warfare basically going on. People separated, and the dark went darker and the light went toward the light. And I think spirits are doing that at this time on the earth right now too. So, hey, welcome in, Dark Horse. I think they're doing it too. It's happening in the Hoover House. It's been proven over the past couple of years. This is going on. There's other light, like beacons, I call them, in different places I'm hearing about. There is a gathering going on. And, if you guys are drawn here for the light, then by golly, we're doing something. And then if you take it from here and you spread it out, then you're part of it and you're sending it out. And I ask you to do that, through your creativity and your imaginations and your traditions and your wisdoms. Pass it down. We're losing the wisdom, as Steve opened with. Don't just think about the voices of the dead. Think of the voices of the living, the ones that are still living, that have acquired knowledge over their lifetime. These are our elders. These are our people that carry the answers to something you might not even know you have a question to yet. And, so if you don't want to do anything else creative and you don't think you can write a book, please go talk to some people that are definitely known as our elders and the wise ones that have made it through life and learned some things, and write them down and put that in a book, or do a narration, or ask them for their poetry and things like that. Put it in a collection of wisdoms, because we're losing that. We're losing our traditions, and please pass it on to the grandkids and celebrate art. I'm going to play some music on the way out. I'll put your comments on there. Tonight, Lynn has graciously offered that if you donate $5 or above, you get an ebook of your choice from Lynn, as she explained.
And
Lynn,
Steve.
if you want to say that. And Steve.
And I met that offer too,
yes.
so you get one from each of us.
And I promise you, it will go into this show, and it will go towards keeping the lights on for you, because I love you all. Please go ahead.
How this will be done is Cisco has track of all of the people that are present in the room and those who have paid. You're going to be giving her your email address or whatever address that you want to have the ebook sent to. And what I will do when I send it is I will copy in Cisco when I send it, so that she can verify that it has been sent. So
there you go. Yeah. There you go. And my email, if you don't want to do a DM, my email is journeythroughthegate@gmail.com. Throw it up there for me, mods. Also, please throw up the links for Lynn Monet. This is a wonderful author. Her books are fantastic. Greg Koss, the Shadow Hour over here, and he's got a wonderful YouTube channel if you want to tell us all about that. And throw up the link for his Facebook as well.
Well, mine is all Facebook right now.
Right. Okay. Well, I think we got that link. We can throw that up there for you.
Yeah, it's all either under Shadow Hour, or Shadow Hunters Paranormal Investigations and Events page. And then the other one is under Dark Horse Paranormal, and that's our Perfectly Normal Paranormal show. That's Reggie and my show.
Oh, hey, Reggie out there, holler out to you. And it's good to have you.
Is he here in the room?
I don't see him. I didn't see him going through, but I wanted to throw out a shout out to him anyway.
Reggie's an awesome guy.
This has been really incredible.
It's been fun.
Since he missed it, if you guys don't mind, I'm going to play this real quick, Greg. This was my son's first EVP. We are at Gettysburg. We're at the Wyndham Hotel. We're at the end of a long hallway. You know how that echoes. The people, the crowd behind, the chatter you hear behind, that's not part of this. That was people way on the other side of the hotel. It just echoed down the hall. Separate from that, you're going to hear two answers to a question. I'm sitting with dowsing rods, and I felt the energy come behind me, and then the energy, and another energy, a separate energy came in. And what I was feeling, I was getting confirmation with the dowsing rods, exactly what I was feeling. And when I asked this last question, I got one syllable answer from each of them, but enough of an inflection and an energy that I think you can even tell the type of spirit it came from. So I'm going to play it for you. It's just amazing to me. In this short one little syllable. Can you tell us your name? Okay. Thank you. Just speak into the recorder and we'll see if we can get anything back, okay? I would really like to help you. Can you tell me, do you feel stuck here? Yes or no? No.
So clear.
They both answered no.
Little girl, no.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't even know why I closed my eyes. It was so clear.
Yeah.
How about that?
Very clear. And
my son's first EVP. 2 different people. I got young girls, 2 young girls. Actually, I got even one older than the other. And they kind of almost paused to like look at, no, I don't feel stuck. You know, they're having a good. Now the conversation before that, of course, went with this, and it even firms it up a little bit more because they were very quick to react and confirm with the dowsing rods, and basically telling me they were having a good time. They weren't, attached to the land. They were kind of with somebody and kind of just, having a good time, and the EVP confirms that as well with the feeling and everything else. Incredible, isn't it?
Yeah.
The little things. We get more on these shows when we sit together for an hour than they get in a whole season of this paranormal garbage, don't they? Don't we, honey? I can't thank you guys enough for popping in here. Is there anything you want to close with to leave the chat with? Thank you so much, guys, for doing this tonight. Happy Valentine's Day.
Yeah,
please give it a thumbs
enjoy
up.
being here with
you, Steve.
Greg, nice meeting you as well. Lynn, I'll make sure my booker gets a hold of you to get you over on 13
tell
past
Tiger
midnight.
Lily that I'm going to send Tinkerbell after her. So,
okay.
They're throwing up the links to everybody's channel. I want you to remember Lynn Monet. Go to lynnmonet.com or the Omnipresent. Please go to her website. That way she can keep track. Make sure you get your books and everything. Go and check out Greg Costas over there doing so many things. He's got lots of great stuff on YouTube. Just put that in there and you're going to pop up a lot of great conversations about everything he does. We're going to have you back, Greg, and we'll spend more time talking about what you do. And I thank you so much for coming in and giving your
I'm more than welcome to help whenever I can.
It's been something, but wow. And right here live, we got something. And again, I want you guys to go back and look at that.
Yeah, we'll have to go back and listen to this week's now. And then next week, we'll talk about that one.
Because, the thing that gets me is, like I said, it sounded the same guy, right?
It sounded like the same voice tonight as the one from last week.
But in a different inflection. Like this time, it wasn't as much laughter. It was more like, oh my God, they're talking about it again.
Exasperated, I told you last week.
Yeah, we're going to have to powwow and get that portal closed, my dear. And get that cleaned out and help everybody. We need to get on that right away. We'll powwow on that and we'll talk and we'll do it right, and because obviously they like our energy together. If you want to help with that, Lynn, let's get her done.
Yeah,
it'll be the first time we did long distance stuff, right, Steve?
No, it's fine. We just have to locate. And the thing is, because right now those people are okay, but something else might start coming through there that you don't want in your house.
Enough is enough.
Or in your bed, for that matter, under your bed.
Free will is free will, but and if they're going to be living there, I this is a good friend of mine. I think you should be paying rent. So,
that's right. That's right.
Stop leeching off of Steve, and let's get that house clean, right, Steve?
Yeah. Well,
all right, everybody.
I'm gonna stay. They'll have to apport in some gold coins or something, some nuggets.
Good night, everybody. We're gonna play a little music. Celebrate art and creativity.
Love you.
Good night. I love you guys. And remember, this is a blind artist. So if this blind artist can find a way to be creative, what are you doing tomorrow? Keep the lights on for you, everybody. Good night.
Bye.
Good night, friends.
you.